Hello everybody, my name's Legendary Jeff99, and today I'm going to show you how to make my resin farm. This farm produces about 18,000 resin clumps per night, which is about 54,000 per hour. Material list will be on screen now, and I'm using a lot of glass in this build. Most of it isn't needed. The one part that is needed is the spawning platform, because if it's solid blocks, it will spawn a bunch of other hostile mobs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build two 6x13 platforms. I'm using glass blocks, but it doesn't have to be glass, just any solid block. And then we're going to repeat the same thing on this side. And then from here, you want to surround the platforms, more blocks. And then from there, we're going to add the collection system. You can make the collection system however you like. This is just how I have it set up. And then we're going to add the hoppers. And then once you have the hoppers in, you're just going to want to encase the rest of the area with glass or any solid block. And then once you have all the blocks in, you can add water to the platforms on both sides. And then once we have the water in place, we can put the pistons in that will push the pale oak logs that hold the resin. So on each side. Now you don't need iron blocks here, this is just any solid block. And then once you have those set up, we can now add the creaking hearts in. Actually, quick little mistake here. You want to leave open blocks on this end, or else the pistons will not be able to push the blocks through. Now what you want to do is completely surround this area with blocks. And then once you're done with that, you're going to line yourself up with this chest and this hopper. Come up to the top and make a 2x2 square. This will be the drop chute, which the creaking will go into. From here, you want to go 7 additional blocks out in each direction. And then from here, you want to just connect all 4 sides. Then once you have the whole platform built, you want to come out to the edge, 2 blocks off, and line it with solid blocks on each side. Okay, and then once you do that, you want to go in front of each of these blocks, place a trapdoor. Once you have those trapdoors in, you can add glass blocks to the corners. And then remove the extra one from the corners. Actually, you want to put 3 glass in the corners, not just the 2. Okay, from here, we can now add our water in. So now that the water's in, we can start with our redstone line. You want to go to the bottom left corner and connect the blocks, where we will put a repeater on 1 tick facing each direction, and then we can run our redstone line out. And then when we get here, we're going to connect these as well, the repeaters. And then when we get here, we will just start with the other side. Connect these up. And then once you have all that in, you can test it with a lever. Make sure that all the trapdoors close and the water disappears. Once we have the redstone line in, we can come down and build the drop chamber for the creaking. You want to line yourself up with the hole, and then we're going to go a block up off the ground, and then we'll connect it up in the back. And then off to the side, I have slabs so you can still access the chests in the back. And then connect up in the front. And then what you want to do is put a water bucket back in the corner so it pushes all the creaking to one spot. Okay, now we're going to build the piston pushing circuit. So you come over to these pistons, do 2 blocks out, and then connect them up. Same with over here, 2 blocks out, connect them up, and then we connect them together here. And then we will have repeaters on each of these set to 1 tick. And then we can run redstone dust along the whole line here. So now we're going to build a hopper clock. So we'll go 2 blocks out, place a hopper there, break that block, place a hopper there, and then we'll take 2 sticky pistons, place them like that, redstone block in between them, and then now we drop underneath, block there, each side, comparator facing into a block with redstone dust on top. Now we're going to place 8 of any item into one of the hoppers, which will start the hopper clock. And then for the time being, you can put a lever there, turn it on, and it stops it. Now we're going to place an observer facing this redstone block, which when that moves, it will fire all of the pistons. Then once you have that in, we can connect up the pistons in the back. And then because this line is too long, we're going to need the repeater into a block there. And then down here, a repeater coming out of that block. And now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then once you have all that connected, you can turn on the hopper clock to test it. Which it is firing correctly. Now once we have all that built, we can build the nighttime activation sensor. So we'll come to the corner here with the lever, and we'll go 5 blocks off. And on this corner, we put a daylight sensor, the comparator reading out of it, into a sticky piston holding a redstone block. Now we go to this side, comparator facing into that comparator with a composter. And we want this at level 4. So pumpkin pies give you 1 level per, which is why I'm using those. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then now we can get rid of that lever. And now if we want our water to work in tandem with our hopper clock, what we're going to do is build a little step down. And so we can connect it up here. Just run redstone up. Now we can remove that lever. And now this only turns on when the water turns on. The last step is spawn proofing. The creaking can spawn on pretty much any block we have here. So we can either use half slabs or carpet. And we want to cover any block besides the daylight sensor. If you cover that, it will not work. Cover any block that you do not want the creaking to spawn on, which is anything except this glass platform here. Since we built this so close to the ground, we're going to need to spawn proof it. And since it's on the ground, it's a good time to spawn proof using water instead. Now once you have all the water in, this thing's pretty much ready to go. One thing I did forget to mention though, is you can put a lever here, and this shuts it down, so even at night it won't run. Once you have all the spawn proofing done, the only thing left to do is get a sweeping edge 3 sword. Once you have that, you can turn on the farm, go to the chamber, and wait for night. Now that it's night, you can see the creaking start to spawn. The water opens up, they'll all get funneled in where you're down here, and you can sweep away at them. As you do that, you can see the resin generate, get pushed off, and go into the collection system. Now after running this farm for one night, these are the type of rates we got. Well, I hope you enjoy this farm and enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!